Presented by the all-new Honda Civic, now available with Turbo, the 2016 North American Car of the Year. Blue Jays on Sportsnet. Presented by the all-new Honda Civic, now available with Turbo, the 2016 North American Car of the Year.
Welcome to Target Field in Minneapolis, Minnesota. The first of 4 games here against the Minnesota Twins and the Blue Jays. Glad to be on the road. They were swept by the Tampa Bay Rays at home in Rogers Center. They have lost 5 straight games for the first time this season. In fact, there's been some juggling at the top of the order for the Blue Jays.
Yeah, Bautista will lead off. He hasn't done that since 2010. And you move up Donaldson and Encarnacion. You guarantee that they're going to hit into the lineup. Michael Saunders has 6 home runs and just 13 RBIs. So you move him into an RBI spot. So he's hitting. So maybe you can get him to drive in some more runs.
Jose Bautista against Santana, 8 for 29 with 5 extra base hits. And then right behind him, Josh Donaldson last year against Minnesota. Hit .345 with 8 extra base hits. He too has a couple of home runs against tonight's starter, Irvin Santana.
Irvin Santana now in his 12th big league season from San Cristobal, Dominican Republic. He had his best start of the season last Saturday. He allowed 1 run in 6 innings. That was in a 6-3 win versus Cleveland. That win was 127th in his career, tying him with Joaquin Andujar for 6th most for a Dominican-born pitcher. Juan Marichal, of course, is #1 with 243 career wins. Irvin Santana signed to a long-term free agent contract. He's only had 1 win, but a very respectable earned run average at .338.
Defensively, the Twins have had problems catching the ball. They have committed 25 errors. Only the Oakland A's have committed more errors this season. Oakland's made 30. Arcia, Santana, and Sano in the outfield. On the infield, Kretschmann, Trevor Plouffe at third. Nunez and Dozier up the middle. Joe Mauer at first base. And the catcher, a very good catcher, Kurt Suzuki, will handle Santana tonight.
Twins committed a season-high 3 errors in their last game. But Brian Dozier, the second baseman, was a 2015 All-Star. He's a finalist among AL second basemen for the Gold Glove voting. He had 8 errors last year in 157 games. He's got 2 so far this year.
First pitch of the game to Bautista is outside, and we are underway. Well, Jose has certainly done his job getting on base. Bautista checks his swing. It's ball 2. Bautista, .374 on base percentage. And you talk about mixing it up and looking at your stats, he is really hitting well in this ballpark.
He has crushed it here in this ballpark. 6 RBIs in his last 7 games, 35 walks this year, 11 home runs in 17 games here.
3-0. There's the first strike of the ball game.
And we give credit to Jose. He's a free agent at the end of the year, but he has maintained his game plan, and he hasn't gone outside the strike zone trying to force his numbers. He has taken what the pitcher has given him.
Base hit into left field. Sharply hit on a 3-1 pitch, and Bautista is aboard.
The threat at the top of that lineup, you better be careful. First of all, Jose Bautista gets himself into a fastball count and gets a fastball right over the middle. And right now, Urban Santana's got to feel lucky that it's not 1-0. That ball was hammered to left field.
Josh Donaldson did not play in the game last night in the series finale. He was 1 for 8 in the Tampa Bay series. His only hit was a double. Batting .353 for the season.
That is way off of where he was a year ago in batting average. He was up over 300 on this date last season. And what pitchers have been doing to him, they've really started slowing down the pitches to him. Really messing with his timing with slow curveballs.
Santana doesn't have that kind of pitch, so that might be a good matchup. He's a fastball slider guy. He has a changeup, but no slow breaking ball.
Not the type of slow ball that we have seen from the pitchers lately.
This is popped up. Shallow left field. Nunez out. He gives way to Arcia, the left fielder, who makes the catch.
Wow. Let's take a little closer look at tonight's starter for the Minnesota Twins, Urban Santana, in his 12th big league season. There's the fastball. It's down to 92. When he first came in, he could get it up there at 94 or 95. Now he's going to have to pitch with it at 92 miles an hour. He throws it 52% of the time. Slider and a changeup. He needs to hit his spots and change speeds. If not, he can get knocked around. Told you he won his first game of the season in his last start against Cleveland.
Edwin Encarnacion is batting third tonight. He goes after the first pitch, and that's over the dugout, out of play. Edwin, like Bautista, has hit well in this ballpark. Edwin, for his career, a .309 hitter with 6 homers and 16 RBIs here at Target Field. Santana knows Bautista's not running.
Just a little courtesy throw over to first base. Why would you run with Edwin Encarnacion at the plate?
Base hit to left field. Bautista will turn at second and hold as Bautista and Encarnacion in their new positions in the lineup both have base hits.
This is his 18th career start versus the Blue Jays. So some of these veteran hitters for Toronto are very familiar with Urban Santana. That time he catches too much of the plate against Encarnacion, and he will pick up his first hit of the night.
Bautista now with 30 at-bats against Santana. Encarnacion 21. This is Justin Smoke. He's got 21 ABs against the righty. First pitch strike. Smoke was 2 for 10 in the 3 games, and obviously the Blue Jays didn't hit much at all against Tampa Bay as a team. They hit 181, had 17 hits in 3 games.
That was one of those series where you couldn't do anything right. No matter how hard you tried, nothing was going to go right. On the flip side of that, the Tampa Bay Rays could do no wrong. Everything they swung at found hits. Every pitch they made, they executed. Blue Jays, though, can wipe the slate clean starting tonight.
Kurt Suzuki and Santana going to talk things over here.
Did you get a sense today also of the energy amongst the ball club today with the changes that they made to the lineup?
Yeah, I sure did. And early in the game, before the Blue Jays took the field, Bautista was visiting with the media, talking about how this all evolved. And he said, a bunch of us guys got together and talked about it, a bunch of the veterans, and then we took it to the skipper. Smoke gets underneath it, and it's a high fly ball deep to right. Santana on the warning track. Bautista tags at second. And they get the ball back in. The Smoke just missed it. He hit it all the way onto the warning track in deep right center.
Justin had a great round of batting practice today in this ballpark and just missed that one. Finish up that story. It might not be a be-all, do-all, end-all for the Blue Jays, but they had to do something. Gibby was saying today also that, you know, we're getting guys on base. We're not coming up with the clutch hit. And when you change things up just a little bit, you give guys different perspectives. There's a hop in their, a skip in their hop, and when they're out there taking batting practice. I watched Bautista today. He's running down fly balls in the outfield. There's just some energy within this team during batting practice, and those are the kind of things that you have to do, because it was a very lackluster performance, I thought, by the Blue Jays back at home.
Yeah, it sure was, and everybody thought maybe the brawl down in Texas would spark some energy into it, but it seemed to have the adverse effect. As a matter of fact, it had the same effect for Texas.
Yeah, they went out to Oakland and got swept.
So now it's all about playing some good baseball on this 7-game road trip. Michael Saunders, he went 1 for 10 in the series against Tampa Bay. That was a home run. Saunders hitting .310 for the month of May. There's that good changeup.
Basically a 3-pitch pitcher like we talked about in the scouting report. You got to make him throw strikes. He will nibble, and he has the ability to nibble, if you will, on the corners.
And there, Suzuki keeps it right there. Kurt Suzuki, the veteran catcher, done a nice job since coming here to Minnesota. Joe Mauer has moved from behind the plate to playing first base every day. Here comes another changeup. Missed downstairs. It's 2-2.
One thing Michael Saunders has done, and this is a good spot for him, RBI spots, because he's put up good at-bats. Very rarely will he chase at pitches out of the strike zone. He's got a good game plan whenever he steps in the batter's box, and he's already hit 6 home runs this year.
There goes Encarnacion. Ball is bounced. Mauer goes wide at first. He'll flip to first, just ahead of Saunders, and the inning is over. Blue Jays get a couple of hits, but strand the pair. When we come back, Marco Estrada will take the mound to try to get this club off to a good start. Minnesota Twins, grew up in this area, went to high school here, played at the University of Minnesota, had a terrific Hall of Fame playing career. Now he's in his 2nd year managing the Minnesota Twins. Minnesota a year ago won 83 games. This year it's a little different story. 10-29, that's the fewest wins in the American League. Trevor Plouffe with a 4-game hit streak. 7 for 17 over those 4 games with a couple of RBIs. And then the left fielder Osvaldo Arcia is in left field. 346 average against the Blue Jays with a pair of doubles. This has been a very, very tough season for the Twins so far.
Yes, it has. Marco Estrada, originally drafted by the Washington Nationals in the 2005 draft. He's also pitched for the Milwaukee Brewers. 7 starts this year, 289 earned run average, 43 2/3 innings. You see up there for Estrada. They have only been able to score him 10 runs this season. Marco has pitched some outstanding ball games this year, but really doesn't have much to show for it. Last time out, allowed 5 runs for the first time since last July. That was when he pitched in Seattle.
Ball on a strike to the leadoff man, second baseman Brian Dozier.
Batting average is down for Dozier. Home runs, he's got 4. He has been trying to yank every pitch out of the ballpark this year.
Hit 28 home runs a year ago. There's a strike, that floater in there.
That should play into Marco Estrada's hand. That's why I said it, because Marco Estrada, the harder you swing, the softer he's going to throw it. And that plays right into his hand.
Last time out down in Texas, Marco got squeezed a bit early in the game. He's making some good pitches, but not too many calls went his way.
4 walks in that game.
Marco started his windup and then didn't feel comfortable and stepped off the rubber. A ball and 2 strikes to leadoff man Brian Dozier. Change up in the dirt.
When he has that pitch working, that changeup and that feel for it, and he combines that with fastball command, spotting it, he could get by with just those 2 pitches if you ask me. Then he'll throw in that cutter and the curveball, making him so tough. I think early on he should establish the fastball and throw that for strikes and get fastball in the mind of these Twins hitters. Then he could start messing with them with the curveball and the changeup.
Full count to Dozier. Base hit. Millar's going to get over and cut it off. Dozier makes a big turn, but Millar gets it back in quickly to hold him to a single. Well, we mentioned the Twins have committed 25 errors. Well, the Toronto Blue Jays have committed 24. They've really like some shaky defensive late. Sanders, Pilar, and Bautista in the outfield. Josh Donaldson at third base has committed 3 errors. Troy Tulowitzki has 6. Jimmy Paredes making him start at second. Smoke at first, and Russell Martin behind the plate. Leadoff single for Dozier.
Wanted to highlight Jimmy Paredes at second base. Blue Jays have only used just 2 second basemen all year. This is number 3 right here. Paredes playing second base for the first time this year. He's in there to spark the offense. He played third base last night for Josh Donaldson. He will be in there at second base tonight just to try to get that bat in the lineup.
Nunez bunts at it and bunts right through it. It's 0-2 to the number 2 hitter, Eduardo Nunez. Nunez up to a good start, 340 average. He's been filling in all over the place. Eduardo Escobar is the shortstop. He's currently injured. So Nunez has been filling in at short, and Molitor says when Escobar comes back, he's going to figure out a way to keep Nunez in the lineup.
In that super utility role, he can play any infield position. We've also seen him in the outfield when he was with the New York Yankees. And right now, if you're struggling like the Minnesota Twins are struggling, this guy's hitting 340. You got to find a spot in the lineup for him.
Fastball off the plate. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes, and the second consecutive at bat. Estrada got ahead quickly and then couldn't finish off Dozier, and now it's a 2-2 count to Nunez. Line drive to left. Saunders comes in and makes a head-high catch. 1 down. Well, Joe Mauer, former #1 pick overall, is now playing at first base. He just never really developed the power that everybody hoped he would, especially the Twins. But he's had 3 batting titles, a very good hitter, and a career .300 hitter.
He did 1 year. He developed that power. That was the last year that this team played in the Metrodome. But since they have moved into this park, he has got that opposite field swing going big time. The inside out, let's hit it the other way type of swing to keep that batting average up.
Coming into this season, Mauer's a career .313 hitter. He too, like Molitor, grew up in the St. Paul, Minneapolis area. There's a ground ball. Nunez will miss it as Paredes went right to it, and there's the throw to third. It's not in time. Dozier going into second base, cut in front of Paredes at second, and may have distracted, but went right through his legs.
You know, that's why we highlighted him in the defense, because he hasn't played a lot of second base in his career. He's in the lineup to try and spark this team offensively from that position. But that was an in-between. Should I catch the ball and go to second base, or should I just catch the ball and get the out over at first base? I think he would have been a little bit better off just catching the ball. And I think if he would have played a few more games at second base, he would have known just catch the ball, get the out over at first base.
This is just his 12th career start at second base. He has committed errors in his 2 starts, 1 at third last night, a throwing error. So Dozier's at third. Mauer's safe at first on the air. And this is big Miguel Sano. Fly ball deep to center. Pilar is back. He's got room. Dozier is tagging at third. Here's the throw to second. Mauer is in there safely, and the run comes in to score. So Miguel Sano with a deep sac fly to center field, and the Twins have a 1-0 lead. RBI number 19 for Sano.
That has been the problem for the Minnesota Twins offensively, being able to play fundamental baseball offensively. They haven't been able to score runs with sacrifice flies. They haven't been scoring a whole lot of runs as it is. That RBI right there by Sano, that's their team leading 19th RBI.
Trevor Plouffe, the third baseman. We mentioned he has a 4-game hit streak. 2 outs, a run in. Minnesota has taken a 1-0 lead. Goes after the first pitch. Nobody in the American League has scored fewer runs with 2 outs than Minnesota. They've scored just 46 2-out runs this season. That's 29th in the majors. Mauer's at second with 2 outs. The Dodgers are 30th. They have the fewest 2-out runs at 45. Center field, and Pilar has a beat on it. He makes the catch. The inning is over, but Minnesota, a base hit and air and a sac fly. They've taken a 1-0 lead.
Blue Jays members, it is time to log on and enter the following code, MBJ4349. You do that, it's easy way to earn My Blue Jays points simply for watching tonight's broadcast. The entry box can be found on your My Blue Jays homepage. You must enter the code by 11:59 tonight, and we will have another code for you tomorrow. Buck?
Thank you very much, Barry Davis. As you can see, there are a lot of Blue Jay fans here at Target Field in Minneapolis. Make their way down from some of the prairie states. We have met all kinds of people from across Canada, out west. We've met them here from Newfoundland, Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba.
We get to walk back to the hotel after the ball game and get to chat with them on the concourse here at this ballpark. They're everywhere.
Yeah, and they just absolutely love their Blue Jays. You can see a big group of them there. They're everywhere, and Blue Jay players love the support. Troy Tulowitzki fouls it off. It's 1-2 to the Blue Jays shortstop.
He had a nice visit with Barry Davis today before the game, saying he's starting to feel good at the plate physically. Says he's starting to see the ball just a little bit better. The next thing that follows is a whole bunch of line drives.
Gets a piece of that off-speed pitch. You know, and there's been some concern, and obviously a lot of people have speculation about what's going on with this ball club, but I think hearing what has happened with these players, the veteran players like Tulowitzki and Encarnacion and Donaldson and Bautista, they got together themselves and they went to the manager and said, we got to do something. We have this idea about the lineup and we'd like to put it on your table. And John Gibbons was very appreciative of the effort. I mean, there's not anybody on this team that has given up about this season. That's one thing for sure.
Not at all. And so many times ball players get cast as well. They don't care. They don't, you know, they're getting their money and they just come to the ballpark and they play or they don't play. These guys care. They really want to go out there. Sometimes they get miscast, but they want to turn this thing around. Nobody feels worse than the ball players when they're not playing well.
Full count to Tulowitzki. And obviously the media's not privy to all the inside conversations, and the ball players, they have a lot of private time together and they all get together. And this is a very close group. We saw this last year when they got their regular team together at the end of July, and they spent a lot of time together. Full count. Fly ball into center. Danny Santana over into the alley, gets there and makes the catch. Well, the Blue Jays obviously haven't hit much. You see their .234 average. A year ago, they hit .269 as a team. That was the best in the American League and scored 5.5 runs a game. And it's obviously a much different story. Boston hitting nearly .300 as a team, scoring a ton of runs of late. And that's the concern. And I think both the Orioles and the Red Sox are much better teams this year than they were last year. And you don't want to get too far behind. Jimmy Paredes goes after the first pitch and grounds it to second.
You know, we showed those numbers right there where the Blue Jays are hitting as a team. I think a little bit more worrisome, for me at least, is the hitting with runners in scoring position. You're not going to come to the ballpark every day and bang out home run after home run after home run. So you have to manufacture runs, and I think you have to do a better job of hitting with runners in scoring position. Last year, they were #1 in the major leagues. This year, they're 27th. Hitting with runners in scoring position. Will that turn around? I think there's too many good hitters for it not to turn around.
When you look at the track record of the individuals, it certainly suggests that it'll turn around. And this is one of the guys that's anxious to get things turned around, Russell Martin. Martin is yet to homer, but he, like some of his teammates, has hit well in this ballpark. Bouncing ball, Plouffe, wide of third. Easy inning for Santana. 3 up, 3 down, top of the second. Minnesota has a 1-0 lead.
Early last season, the Blue Jays had a spark at the top of their lineup. Unfortunately, Devon Travis did not play a full season after the injury. Well, there's some great news regarding Devon Travis. He is very close to returning. In fact, tonight he had his first game with AAA Buffalo Bisons, and what a game he had. First at bat, he lines a single the other way. He follows that up with an RBI double and then another RBI single. He ends up the night 3 for 4, played 7 innings at second base. And guys, the Blue Jays aren't putting a date on this yet, but if he continues to hit the ball the way he has been from the time he began his rehab assignment, you can bet that he will be here much sooner than later. Guys?
Thank you very much, Barry Davis. That's great news, but one thing we all have to remember is Devon Travis has been out for almost a year, and he has to play some games. I think the coaching staff understands that. You know, players have a tendency, Devon's 25 years old. He wants to come to the big leagues right away. But what's the problem getting 10 more games down in the minors and getting 35 or 40 at bats before you come up here? I think that's the right way to approach it.
When you go on injury rehab, do you have 20 days?
20 days.
20 days. I think you should spend the full 20 days down there. Get
Yeah.
as many at bats as possible. Make sure you're in game shape. See everything, if you will. That is about 3 weeks worth of games down there.
Yeah.
Then you're ready.
You play probably 18 games or so, maybe 3 at bats at a time. Get close to 50 at bats, and I think that's when you'll have a pretty good idea. If you were to think of it this way, it's the same as going through 50 at bats in spring training.
Spring training. That's exactly how I was thinking of 20 days, 20 games.
This is Byung-ho Park. Big power hitter, first year after signing with the Twins. Park is from Korea, and he's got some power.
Not this time.
First strikeout of the night for Estrada.
Save during Canada's Color Expert Sale, only at Home Hardware and Building Center locations. Homeowners helping homeowners with expert advice.
Beautiful ballpark here in Minneapolis, and they've done a great job. 23 degrees at the start of play. It's absolutely gorgeous. Osvaldo Arcia goes after the first pitch to left fielder.
I am so glad they made this an outside park.
Yeah.
Aren't you?
Well, you know, we all hated going into that Metrodome and going inside on a gorgeous afternoon, and it was such a bland atmosphere, but this is spectacular.
Yeah.
I mean, this has got baseball written all over it.
It sure is a beautiful day for baseball.
There's a deep drive down the right side, but that's going to hook foul into the seats.
We didn't care much for it in April a couple of years ago when there was snow on the field and there were icicles hanging from the seats. But like a day like today, it's spectacular.
0-2. Changeup. Weekly hit to Smoke. He'll flip to Estrada, and Arcia is retired. 2 down. Justin Smoke, one of the premier defenders at first base, and now he's getting regular playing time, so the bat's coming around as well.
Boy, defense is so important. He's made a couple of nice plays over the last week or so. There was a line drive yesterday that he snatched out of the air. Plus, it's also very settling. If you're an infielder and you make a throw that's not on target, he's going to pick it for you.
Yep, he'll scoop it out. Kurt Suzuki has 999 career hits. He has 3 hits in 7 at bats against Marco Estrada. Suzuki was originally drafted by the Oakland A's. Good cut there. Suzuki signed as a free agent to come here to play for the Twins. And he does a nice job behind the plate. He played his college ball at Cal State Fullerton.
He always seems to fight off people every year that are going to come in here and take his job. John Wright Murphy was brought in over here from the Yankees, and it's Suzuki being the catcher this year.
Kurt started his career in the big leagues in 2007 with Oakland. He spent parts of 6 seasons in Oakland. Then he went to Washington. He was traded to the Nationals, spent a year and a half there. Went back to Oakland in 2013 at the end of the season. Fly ball. Shallow center. Long run for Pilar. He calls for it and makes the catch. 3 up, 3 down in the second. We'll go to the third. Blue Jays are down a run. Kevin Pilar will start things off. Then back to the top of the order. Bautista has singled, then Josh Donaldson.
And the best of junior hockey, it's the MasterCard Memorial Cup, and it begins tomorrow. Leafs prospect Mitch Marner and the London Knights face the hometown favorites in Red Deer. That is tomorrow on Sportsnet. You can also stream it live on Sportsnet now. Buck?
It's always a great example of the future stars of tomorrow playing in the Memorial Cup, and it's great hockey action, so make sure you check it out. Kevin Pilar batting 9th in this game. John Gibbons told us that he hopes that the bottom third of this order understands now if they just get on base, turn the lineup over to get to the top 3 in the order, that should be doing their job. There's a swinging bunt. Swiped foul by Santana.
That is all they have to think about right now. Just get on base. 7, 8, 9. Get on base. Turn that lineup over and let the guys who were 2, 3, and 4 knock you in. You don't have to hit home runs. You don't have to think about driving in runs. Have good at-bats, good approaches, and just get on base. Pilar doesn't walk a whole lot. I think he's going to have to swing his way on. He's not the kind of guy that's going to wait out pitchers and make them work.
Breaking ball. He's a very, very aggressive hitter. But when he got out hot last year, he made the pitchers come to him.
I think with this lineup also hitting 9th, they're going to challenge him. He'll get his share of fastballs, I think, to hit now.
You know what, and I can appreciate that with Bautista on deck and then Donaldson behind him. But nowadays, pitchers just don't challenge hitters the way they used to. You saw that breaking ball, and they throw a lot of breaking balls. There's a fastball that's hit into left. Archie is there, and there's one out. But there's so much offense in the game, the pitchers are very reluctant. I don't care 1 through 9. They're going to throw you a lot of breaking balls, and they're going to pitch backwards, if you will.
They're not going to pitch inside. We have seen that consistently. They're not going to pitch inside.
So Jose Bautista leading off for the first time since 2010. Had a base hit his first time up. It came on a 3-1 fastball. Broken bat right off the end of the bat. Bautista got a fastball and Santana. 2 quick outs here in the third.
That ball looked like it might have cut a little bit. That's the proper use of a cutting fastball right there. First pitch, you're going to throw it. It looks like it's going to be on the corner, and then it's just going to cut, and you're going to hit it right off the end of the bat. Watch Jose go after this ball. Look at it cut away from it. He gets it off the barrel, hits it off the end of the bat, and all that's left in his hand is the handle. That's good execution of a cut fastball.
Yeah, and Bautista is being asked about that pitch, and some of the other hitter, you could see he reflects the fact that it moved away from him and hit on it right off the end of the bat. Josh Donaldson popped out to the left fielder his first time up. When you look at the Blue Jays lineup, most of them have good numbers in this ballpark. Donaldson himself came into this game with a .326 career average here at Target Field.
When this ballpark opened up, it was a pitcher's ballpark. At least that's what everybody was telling us before we got here. Then the Blue Jays showed up and started banging balls into the stands, and they're like, this must be a hitter's ballpark.
That was really interesting. It was 2010, the inaugural year of this beautiful ballpark. And the Blue Jays came in right at the end of the season, and everybody said, well, you guys aren't going to hit any home runs here. They were hitting home runs all over the place. I think Edwin had 5 home runs in the series, and he was eventually named American League Player of the Week because of that great series here in Minnesota. Santana pumps the fastball by Donaldson. 8 straight set down by Santana since the Encarnacion single in the first.
There's always lots of fans that come and see them, so if you're flying to catch a game, book a WestJet Plus fare. It's more than a seat, it is a premium experience for a smart price. Buck?
Beautiful shot of downtown Minneapolis. The Blue Jays are here for a 4-game series, and they have seen a lot of Blue Jay fans, and they are all decked out in their Blue Jays gear.
Blue Jay colors. Blue Jay lipstick.
Danny Santana drops down a bunt, and a nice play by Donaldson. It was bang, bang at first, but Santana beats it out.
I think everybody in the ballpark knew that Santana was going to try and drop a bunt down. The Blue Jays did. Josh Donaldson, Estrada, everybody did. But when you put one down as perfect as this bunt and you can run, you can see Donaldson call off Estrada. He does everything he can. Santana just outruns the ball. I don't think they're going to check this one. It is on the base before it goes into the glove, so Santana's got an infield hit.
He certainly beat the throw. Good play by Donaldson, and they were guarding against it, but sometimes when you execute perfectly, you can't do anything about it.
There he's on the base. Look at Smoke trying to cheat right there, pull his foot off. He is on the base.
Santana has 7 stolen bases, but he's been caught 4 times.
They have been having trouble scoring runs. It would not shock me to see Paul Molitor trying to play hit and run, hit behind the runner, steal, anything. Dozier, he's looking for a first pitch fastball here.
Well, Molitor Chu might accomplish 2 things if he puts the hit and run on with Dozier. It'll stop him from thinking about hitting a home run.
And it'll make him concentrate on the baseball. Maybe get the infielders moving around a little bit.
Not running here. Another changeup. It's a ball on the strike. Dozier looking down at the third base coach, Gene Glynn. Give him a quick throw to first. Not running. Dozier's late on that fastball. Paul Molitor, he liked the hit and run game when he was a player. Great base runner. Could really handle the bat.
When he played for the Brewers, that was a tough lineup. Yount, Molitor, Cooper.
There goes the runner. He got a good jump. Swing and a miss. A strikeout. The throw is not in time. As Dozier strikes out, Santana picks up his 8th stolen base of the season. Paul Molitor's team last year in his rookie season as the manager won 83 games and lost 79. But the last 18 games, it's been a nightmare for Minnesota.
They've only won 3 of them. They've been outscored by 48 runs and out-homered 30-19. A lot of it is swinging the bats and trying to score runs. They've scored 2 or fewer runs in 14 games this season. 14 of them. So that's why you've got to start that runner. Over there at first base, they were gambling that it was an off-speed pitch, which it was to Dozier, and made it a little bit easier for Santana to pick up that stolen base.
Eduardo Nunez takes a first pitch fastball for a strike. Nunez is one of the better breaking ball hitters in all of baseball. He really does a good job waiting back, and you would think he'd be dead on the fastball, but that's not the case. He's a good off-speed hitter.
I hope they picked up on that, because there was a fastball right there. A couple of 89-mile-an-hour fastballs, and he was tardy. Hit the ball to the right side. They've got all those numbers, the scouting reports, and what he likes to hit. Blue Jays have picked up on that. A couple of fastballs.
Santana with good speed at second. Walking to get a big lead. Nunez goes after that high fastball. They got the scouting report right on Nunez.
2 of them that he fouls off down the right field line, and now you can expand just a little bit more and go upstairs. Another heater, and he can't hold on. He's telling himself, why am I swinging at that? But Estrada will take it. That's his 3rd strikeout tonight.
Tough hitter in Joe Mauer. 2 down. Minnesota has a 1-0 lead. Mauer reached on an error that contributed to the Twins' run in the first. Hit a ground ball right to the second baseman, Jimmy Paredes, and went right through his legs for his 2nd error in as many games.
This was almost automatic back in the day when Mauer was up and there was a base open. You pitched around him. You would not let him swing the bat.
Well, now he's got a little more protection in Miguel Sano, who is on deck, and you could see the outfield defense really swung around toward the left field foul line.
That's what I mean, that inside-out swing that Mauer has had to help him win those batting titles. Just play pepper with the center fielder. Try to go the other way.
Staying with that fastball, and it's been good for him early on.
Joe Mauer. Let's take a look at his hits by direction, and that's why the outfield is swung over to left field. More hits to left field than right field for a left-handed hitter. He likes to track the ball, let it get deep, let those hands go first, and then the barrel of the bat.
Base hit into center. Pilar's going to get a chance to throw him out. Here's the throw to the plate. Not in time. Throw to second. Mauer slides in safely. And Tulowitzki wants the bench to take a look at it. Mauer kind of lost contact with the base. But the Twins have scored their second run of the game. A 2-out base hit by Joe Mauer.
You mentioned they don't score a lot of runs with 2 outs, and that's why this guy is so dangerous. He's got that inside-out swing that he can cover the plate. I wouldn't even pitch to him. That one looked like it might have been off the plate. No chance to get Santana, who was running on the crack of the bat. But the Blue Jays might want to look at the play at second base as Mauer goes in hard. Tulowitzki stays right with the tag, keeps it on him. And there was some disconnect with the base at second base from Mauer. One more time. Stay with it.
Shuffling his feet. He's off the base there. Clearly off the base. But I'm sorry, I still object with that. That is a baseball play as momentum takes him off the base, and without benefit of really slow motion replay, I don't think that is in the context of instant replay. It's not like it was a call, but that's the way the rules are. This replay review is powered by Samsung. And they're going to call Joe Mauer out. But the Twins have taken a 2-0 lead. Mauer's RBI, his 11th of the season.
MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, delivers everything you've come to expect and more. Watch every out-of-market game live and in true HD on over 400 supported devices. Includes a free subscription to At Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details.
Thank you very much, Barry Davis. The Twins have a 2-0 lead as the Blue Jays bat in the top of the 4th. And when Encarnacion singled to left his first time up, it'll be Encarnacion, Smoke, and Saunders for the Blue Jays.
Well, we are starting to see this all the time now in baseball. Infielders holding that glove right on the runner. The momentum takes them off the bag momentarily, and you will get the call.
I don't agree with that at all.
Yeah, I don't like it either.
No, it is not in the context of a baseball play. Mauer was in there safely. He beat the throw from the catcher. And Tulowitzki, and I don't blame him for holding the glove on him, and that's the way the rules are interpreted right now, but I don't think you should have the ability to look at it frame by frame from inside in slow motion from 10 different angles. Keep it on the field.
I'll take the out because it's the Blue Jays, but I don't, it just seems kind of I don't know.
It's like a video game. Encarnacion strikes out. Donaldson struck out to end the third. Now Encarnacion, the strikeout here in the fourth. Second strikeout for Santana.
You know, that play is different as we take a look at this one more time. It's a changeup to Encarnacion. It's not like oversliding the base where you're out of contact with the base. You're just aggressively going into it and standing up, and you momentarily get off of the base. That's why I don't like it.
No. Next thing they'll be doing is putting Velcro on top of the base, and you'll have to have Velcro shoes on, and you go there and you stick to the base and you never come off.
Or the when you're a little kid, when they don't have the tie down bases, if you hit the base and it disengages,
yeah,
you have to stay right there, right? So don't go to the base, stay right there so we can call you safe.
Well, you've heard me say this before. I don't think the dugout should have communication with the video room to get word whether or not they should look at the review. If you think in the dugout on the baseball field that the call is wrong, then challenge it. But I don't think you should have a team of experts up in the video room watching frame by frame baseball to determine whether or not you want to review it. Smoke hits it off the end of the bat. Dozier waits on it. Santana is in a groove.
The all-new Honda Civic, now available with Turbo, the 2016 North American Car of the Year.
Beautiful evening here in Minneapolis, the first of 4 games against the Twins. The Blue Jays won the series a year ago, 5-2. The Twins got off to an 0-9 start this season. Saunders fouls it off. You remember when the Orioles didn't win a game in spring training? They'd lose like 9 or 10 in a row to start spring training? This year.
This year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then everybody said, well, they're terrible. They're going to be awful. And then they got off to a great start. And now they're atop the American League East, half a game ahead of the Red Sox. But nobody saw this coming.
No. This is a team that won 83 games last year, the Minnesota Twins. Maybe they played a little bit above their talent. I went around and asked some of the Minnesota people who've been watching this team all season long, and I asked them that question. I said, did you see this coming? And they said, to a man, no, they didn't see it. They thought maybe we were playing over our heads a little bit last year, but we didn't see 10-29, which is their worst record through 39 games in their franchise history.
Well, it's closing in on the 62 Mets. Give you an idea how bad this start has been. The 1962 Mets were 12-27 after 39 games, and Paul Molitor, he knows all about baseball history. This is really unprecedented for this organization.
I look up at the flags here down the left field line and see all the championship type banners and flags and division championships and World Series championships. And people are shell shocked here in Minnesota how bad it has been here the first 2 months or so of this season.
Saunders hits it to left. Garcia just on the edge of the warning track, and Santana has retired 12 straight.
Number of games this year, you should consider a Blue Jays ticket package. You pick the games and reserve seats that will get you closer to the action. Starts from 10 games up to a prorated full season. The executives will find the best package that suits your needs. Go to BlueJays.com and learn all about the great benefits of being a Blue Jays ticket package holder. Bye.
Thank you very much, Barry Davis. You can see there are Blue Jay fans all over this ballpark, and right now they're a little concerned that the Twins have a 2-0 lead. Miguel Sano, big right fielder, and he's an imposing presence in this batter's box.
Did you see him around the batting cage today?
He was around the batting cage.
Literally around the batting cage. No, seriously, I thought it was David Ortiz. I mean, that's how big he is. Talking to some of the Blue Jay batters today before batting practice, I looked over, glanced over, and said, what's David Ortiz doing here? That's how big this guy is.
He is 23 years old. He's listed in the media guide as 6'4", 262. And he fills up that batter's box. Big power hitting right-hander. He is naturally a third baseman. He's trying to get acclimated to playing in the outfield.
And he will strike out a lot. He's got 3 errors in the outfield trying to get used to that position change. And you can pitch to him. You can find holes all over his swing, but if you make a mistake, he can hit it a long way.
Strike 3 called. Sano strikes out, called looking. That's 4 strikeouts as Estrada catches the bottom of the strike zone with his pitch.
Sano not real familiar with Estrada, and he crosses him up by throwing a fastball right down the middle. That's a classic example right there of a hitter looking for an off-speed pitch and a pitcher pitching using his fastball.
Marco has used the fastball very effectively early tonight. Trevor Plouffe flew out to center field. His only time up. Fouls this one back into the crowd. Marco Estrada has given up 2 runs on 3 hits. With the error factored in the first inning to the first inning run. This is hit hard to center. Pilar is there almost in his tracks and holds it in.
Second time that Plouffe has flied out to center field.
Young Ho Park, he struck out his first time up. Park has 9 home runs but just 15 RBIs, and he is a legitimate power hitter.
One of those home runs they were talking about today in center field. It's a long way. It's called the catch zone, right underneath the target field there. See where all those people are sitting above the batter's eye? That's where he hit a ball. Dead center field.
Park is 29 years old. He played in Korea professionally. He played his past 5 seasons with the Nexen Heroes of the Korean baseball organization. That's the major league in Korea. And back-to-back 50 home run seasons in 14 and 15. Big swing, but he pops it up. Tulowitzki, the shortstop, calls for it. The inning is over. 3 up, 3 down for Estrada. Will go to the 5th. Minnesota has a 2-0 lead. Now time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn in the Samsung broadcast studio. is making his 8th start of the season, and you look at his run support, it's the lowest in the American League at 206. And he has pitched very well. He's pitched and held the opponents to 199 opponents batting average. He just hasn't gotten much run support, and it was kind of the same for him last year. And when you look back to his first 7 starts, he just hasn't gotten much to work with. Tulowitzki goes after the first pitch and grounds out to short stump.
Isn't that hard to believe? You know, Marco is doing everything he can to help himself win ball games, but one side of the equation is pitching and getting outs. The other side of the equation is, hey, you need some runs to win ball games.
He's made 7 straight starts with 2 runs of support, no more than 2 in all 7 games. And that's the longest stretch by a Blue Jays starting pitcher since Jesse Litch in 2007 got off to a similar start. But Estrada's really pitching well. Just doesn't have much support to work with. This is Jimmy Paredes.
Well, you just keep doing what you're doing, right? Eventually it will turn. Just keep holding up your end of the bargain. Eventually the guys are going to turn it on and you're going to start winning ball games.
Well, the tough part for the pitcher is to say, well, man, I'm pitching as well as I can, and can I keep it up for the next 20 games?
You know what's impressive about what we have seen from Marco so far this year? He's doing it in the American League. That's with the designated hitter and the deep lineups and some of the great teams that we have seen already this year in the American League East. Some really good offensive teams, and Marco has gone through them quickly.
1-2. I've got something in historic perspective regarding that. Since the introduction of the DH in 1973, there have only been 2 pitchers that have held hitters to a lower opponent's batting average than Marco Estrada. Since '73.
And that was the year the DH came into town.
Juan Guzman has the lowest opponent batting average through 35 starts. Ground ball. Bauer gobbles it up and leaves Santana just in time. But Estrada, through his first 35 starts in the American League, has given up an opponent's batting average of 206. Juan Guzman in his first 35 starts, 194 opponent's batting average. And number 2, Jeremy Hellickson with Tampa Bay. He pitched to a 205 opponent's batting average. And Estrada's third.
And 35 starts is basically a full season. 35 starts, a 206 batting average. Pretty impressive.
Russell Martin batting with 2 outs. Blue Jays haven't had a base runner since a 1-out single in the second. Santana has retired 13 straight. Frustrating time for the hitting coaches and the hitters. And believe me, those 2 hitting coaches, they feel the pain of all of their hitters.
Yes, they do. They're out there with the hitters every day. They're looking at video. They're doing extra work in the cages. They are here early, and they bleed with every at bat when things aren't going well.
Russell Martin with a base hit. That'll snap that streak of 13 straight retired. Just the 3rd hit for the Blue Jays, a 2-out single.
That was a good approach right there by Russell Martin. He cut his swing down after he fell behind Urban Santana. Didn't overswing, just got the bat head to the right spot to pick up the base hit. Watch him. He doesn't overswing here. Stays within himself, and he's rewarded with a base hit.
Kevin Pillar lined out to the left fielder. You and I both played. We were fortunate to play a long time. And when you go through these streaks as a hitter, the natural tendency is try to hit the ball hard. And the worse it gets, the harder you swing.
And we've seen that with some of the Blue Jay hitters. Sam McDowell used to say, try easy. And I never understood what he meant by that. How do you try easy? Well, you just slow things down. in your mind. Slow the game down as much as possible. And then all of a sudden, the game starts slowing down and your batting average starts going up.
You have said this often during our years of broadcasting, is whenever you put yourself in a position where I have to get a hit, it never works.
You're not going to get a hit. Or I need to do this. I need to get a base hit here. Talking to some sports psychologists, they said those are actually negative thoughts that you are permeating inside your brain. Negative thoughts that enter your mind while you're sitting at the plate. Hitting is hard enough. You start bringing in all those negative thoughts, it's almost impossible to hit.
2 balls and a strike to number 9 hitter Kevin Pillar, trying to keep the inning alive. Went out, hit that ball away from him, fouls it out of play. Two and two, Russell Martin at first. Minnesota has scored a run in the first and a run in the third. They lead it 2-0. Pillar strikes out. Third strikeout for Santana. Blue Jays leave a base runner.
Canada's largest and only official team shop for your Toronto Blue Jays. New 2016 authentic jersey with 40th season sleeve patch available now. Get yours today at jshop.ca. Buck, just to follow up what you guys were just talking about, spoke to DeMar O'Hale today, and he said the worst thing they can do as players right now is A, look at the standings and see where the team is, and B, look at their own personal numbers and see what they need to do to get them back up to where they should be. All they should worry about is what's happening in this at-bat, what's happening in this game, and everything else will take care of itself.
That's a great approach, and sometimes it's easier said than done. Arcia drops down a bunt, and Russell Martin throws him out. Danny Santana had a bunt single, came around to score in the third. Arcia trying to start the same way here in the fifth.
And I say thank you very much. I mean, he's not used to bunting like that. Sacrifice or bunting for a base hit. That guy's all about trying to hit the ball into the seats. Not a good effort, but Blue Jays will take that for sure. I think he was trying to bunt that ball to Paredes at second base. He was deep and he was pulled around.
Kurt Suzuki takes one outside. Suzuki flew out to center field to end the second. Suzuki was an all-star in 2014 and played in the All-Star game right here in Minnesota. We mentioned he played college baseball at Cal State Fullerton. He was a teammate of the former Blue Jay Ricky Romero.
He's a solid big leaguer, you know. Good defender. You know, he's not a great hitter, but he's not going to embarrass you. He's going to put up some good at bats for you.
He's got a .255 Major League batting average.
And he needs one more to get 1,000 big league hits. One more.
We can do that on Monday.
Yeah.
3-1 to Suzuki. Ball 4. First walk issued by Estrada.
Make your renovation a cut above during the DIY Expert Sale. Only at Home Building Center and Home Hardware Building Center.
Danny Santana had a bunt single to start the third, stole second base and scored on Joe Mauer's 2-out RBI single. Santana, 25 years old, came up with the Twins for the first time in 2014. Hit .319 in 100 games in 14. Changeup, he's way out in front. Last year was a real off season for him. He hit just .250. Dropped his batting average over 100 points from one year to the next.
Didn't he come up as a shortstop, middle infielder? And they have moved him into center field because he can really run. They liked him so much in center field that they sent Byron Buxton down, one of their top prospects, and traded Aaron Hicks, who was a center fielder.
Santana last year made the opening day roster for the first time as the opening day shortstop. Short hop, Paredes knocks it down, and he'll be able to get Suzuki at second. Suzuki had to wait to make sure it wasn't caught on the line. Suzuki is forced.
Comes up with that cleanly, even though Santana can run. That's going to be a double play because it is hit so hard, but right at him. The runner at first base had to hold up. He was going to be a non-factor on the bases. Watching line drive, he's got to freeze. Comes up with that cleanly, it's a double play. But they can only get the one out at second base.
They're really going to have to keep their eye on Santana at first. 2 outs. He already has a stolen base.
They have to throw over there. He's got a huge lead.
Leadoff man Brian Dozier has singled and struck out. Dozier scored on the sacrifice fly off the bat of Sano in the first. Boy, he got a running start. Don't even bother, Russell. Santana guessed perfectly. I mean, he was 3 strides to second before Marco Estrada ever made a move to throw it to the plate.
Watch this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now the ball gets out of his hand, and he's halfway to the base. So I thought they might throw over there. Timed that perfectly.
9th steal for Santana. Changeup for a strike. 2-1 now to Dozier. Mentioned the Twins 29th in the majors in 2 outs run scoring, and they scored one in the third on Mauer's RBI base hit. Dozier gets jammed with that fastball.
They're actually behind the Blue Jays hitting with runners in scoring position this year. Blue Jays come into this game 27th in baseball hitting with runners in scoring position. The Twins, adding to that 2-out failure, they're 28th in baseball runners in scoring position. Leave them standing out there.
Estrada's gotten away with a couple of pitches up and out over the plate. Dozier fouled him straight back. Dozier struck out on a fastball his last time up. Full count. Eduardo Nunez is on deck if Dozier can keep the inning alive. 216 for Dozier in these situations. Santana can really run. Popped up, shallow left field. Pilar calls for it. Saunders gets out of the way. Center fielder makes the catch, and the Twins leave a base runner. We'll go to the 6th. Minnesota behind Irvin Santana has a 2-0 lead.
Blue Jays fans catching a game on the road here in the U.S. You can share all your experiences as they happen with friends and fans back home. With Roam Like Home from Rogers, you can use your phone exactly as you do at home, starting at $5 a day in the U.S. Go to Rogers.com/RoamLikeHome for details. Buck ran into folks from Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Ontario. They're people from all over that have come to watch the Blue Jays.
Now, they picked a great weekend to do it, Barry, that's for sure, as Jose Bautista jumps on the first pitch and lines it straight to Danny Santana. Well, you can't guide it, and Bautista's hit it sharply twice tonight.
Only have one hit to show for it. That almost stopped Santana right in his tracks. Lined out to, he was playing deep to begin with. Jose smoked that ball to center field for the first out. Those tough plays, those line drives right at you as an outfielder. Barely had to move.
Josh Donaldson has gone 0 for 2. Santana, we mentioned he has just one win this season, but this guy has been a big winner in the past. Last year he was suspended, missed the first 50 games of the season.
He missed some time this year on the disabled list also.
Had a lower back problem. He had him on a disabled list, and it was the first time on a disabled list since 2009. He was actually suspended for 80 games to start the season last year for violation of the Major League Baseball's joint drug prevention and treatment program. He has thrown a no-hitter in his career. Threw a no-hitter in 2011 while pitching for the Angels. That was in Cleveland against the Indians on July 27th.
And he came this close to being a Blue Jay. Remember that in spring training? He was a free agent.
Yeah, that was a weird thing. I don't know if anybody ever really got to the bottom of it, but it sounded like he was ready to sign and then had a better deal. Ended up signing with Atlanta.
Signed with Atlanta. Supposedly the players went around and said, okay, I'll pool in some money here to try and help out to sign Santana, but at the last minute Atlanta lost 2 pitchers in the matter of 2 days in spring training, and Santana ended up signing with the Braves.
Irvin Santana spent 8 years with the Angels, a year in Kansas City, a year in Atlanta. In his last 6 starts here at Target Field, the numbers have been pretty impressive.
You know what number is the most impressive? Home runs allowed. Just 1 over his last 6 starts here at Target Field.
Swing and a drive, deep, deep to left, and Encarnacion has done it again here in this ballpark. His 7th career home run here at Target Field, and with 1 swing of the bat, it's a brand new ball game.
Make that 2 home runs given up over his last few starts here. That was a no doubt about it home run from Edwin. He was waiting for that fastball. Hits it into the second deck here, and it got out of here in a hurry.
For Edwin, that's his 2nd career home run against Santana. His 7th career home run here at Target Field. RBIs number 17 and 18 here in this ballpark. A walk and a blast, and it's a 2-2 game.
One more look at it. They tried to go inside, and Edwin is sitting there waiting for it. And he's hit a few in his career. He knows what they feel like and what it looks like. So he can stand there and admire that one.
For Edwin, that's his 6th home run this month. It's his 9th home run of the season and 3rd that he's hit on the first pitch of an at-bat. Boy, that is a welcome sign, and Marco Estrada back in a tie ball game. Justin Smoke. 3 balls and a strike to Smoke.
3rd time through now. 3 pretty good at bats this inning.
Bautista lined it deep to center. Donaldson walked, and Encarnacion homered. Michael Sanders is on deck. It's a full count to Smoke. One hopper to Nunez at short. 2 down. Well, Encarnacion in the 3rd spot in the order tonight is 2 for 3. Bautista leading off. He's 1 for 3. Donaldson walked to set up that 2-run home run. Santana has allowed just 4 hits, 2 of them to that man right there.
Remember in the playoffs last year against Kansas City, the scouts were talking about, the scouts that followed the Blue Jays for the month of September were talking about, you always have to be aware of where you are in the Blue Jay lineup, where Bautista, Donaldson, and Encarnacion are hitting. And it always seems like they were coming up. Well, the Blue Jays now put those 3 guys back to back to back, 1, 2, 3, guaranteeing them more at bats. Why wouldn't you?
Well, Bautista, he's been up 3 times. Top of the order has been up 3 times. Michael Sanders 0 for 2. Sanders has 6 home runs. Will foul outside of first. Michaels hit .352 on the road this season coming into this ball game. And he's got to really be encouraged by his great start after missing most of the season last year with that knee injury.
I think we're finally seeing the type of player that he can be by playing every day.
Saunders had to bail out in a hurry on the 2-2 pitch.
He was looking for something out over the plate. They cross him up, throw that cutter up underneath his bat. That's what pitching inside will do for you right there. Move the feet a little bit of that hitter.
Strike 3 called. Santana paints the outside corner, but the Blue Jays get a walk from Donaldson that set up this swing. A 2-run home run to left. And when it kind of shown his 9th of the season, has tied it up. Marco Estrada, another good outing tonight. 3 hits over 5 innings, only 1 earned run. Second run was unearned. He was walked a batter and struck out 4. He used just 70 pitches, and now he's in a 2-2 ball game.
This is a typical Marco Estrada type of start, isn't it? Move the ball around the strike zone, use your defenders, not a ton of strikeouts. He'll pitch deep into ball games. Giving up a couple of runs, only 1 of them is earned. Could be leading this game.
Eduardo Nunez, he's getting a steady diet of fastballs.
They heard you. Good breaking ball hitter. So heat him up.
There's a changeup he wouldn't chase. Fastball, strike 3. Strikes out for a second time.
The all-new Honda Civic, now available with Turbo, the 2016 North American Car of the Year.
Nighttime creeping up on Minneapolis. We are downtown, just a few blocks from the core of the city. Says Joe Mauer. He had a 2-out RBI in the 3rd. They're pitching him away, and to me, that's pitching him right in his wheelhouse.
That's right where he likes it. That's where he got his base hit to center field on a pitch that was away. Dumped it into center field. Maybe if you get him looking out there, you can do that to him.
Change
right
up.
Throw a change up. Much sharper than his last start against Texas. On Saturday, Marco walked 4 in that game, gave up 5 runs. 4 of them were earned in 6 innings. Hitting his spots much better tonight.
Curveball. You saw Russell Martin tapping the dirt, reminding Estrada to go ahead and bounce it if you have to, but you got to throw that curveball down. These two have really clicked. There was a lot of concern in the offseason. Well, Marco pitched very well to Navarro, but these two have been on the same page all season long. Tried to hit that outside corner with a cutter. Mauer has played 402 games in this ballpark. Coming into this game tonight, he has 19 home runs here.
That's where all his power's gone in this ballpark. He is a gap-to-gap type of hitter.
Saunders is over and makes a nice running catch about thigh high. Mauer hit it on the line.
He almost got it into that gap into left center field. You're right. Anything away from him, he's just going to go with that pitch and just try and line it to left field. It looked like a high fastball that time. He stayed right with it, but Michael Saunders a little bit better to make that catch.
Miguel Sano, he has one of the 2 runs driven in tonight for Minnesota. He had a sac fly in the first inning. As Pat mentioned, Sano leads the Twins with 19 RBIs. Sano missed the entire 2014 season because of Tommy John surgery. He was a third baseman and injured his elbow, had to have it repaired.
He's got tremendous power. Tremendous power. As soon as he learns the strike zone a little bit more, maybe learns the pitchers around this league, he's going to be 30 home runs easily.
Lays off that breaking ball. He just turned 23 years old. He's just getting his feet on the ground, and to his credit, he's working hard to get comfortable in the outfield. Changeup, swing and a miss. Good inning for Marco. 3 up, 3 down. A couple of strikeouts. We'll go to the 7th. It's a 2-2 game. Tulowitzki, Paredes, and Martin against Santana.
We'll see what happens at the ACC come Saturday night as the Raptors continue their playoff quest. See DeMar and company face King James and the Raptors in Game 3. Our coverage starts at 8 o'clock Eastern with Raptors Central Playoff Edition Saturday on Sportsnet, and you can stream it live on Sportsnet now. So Buckley, watch the Blue Jays in the afternoon and then get home and watch the Raptors.
Beautiful shot of a gorgeous full moon here. 2-2 ball game. Edwin Encarnacion tied it up with his 9th home run, a 2-run shot. Edwin is moving up the leaderboard in the RBI department. 32 RBIs now for Double E. That puts him in a tie with Todd Frazier and Jackie Bradley Jr. for 3rd in the American League. Isn't it interesting? No matter how people start, when you have a track record like Bautista, Donaldson, Encarnacion, Tulowitzki, they're all going to find their level sooner or later.
Martin and Smoke and Saunders have, I think, everybody. I know the Blue Jays are counting on that when it comes to the offense.
Irvin Santana working in the 7th. He's allowed 2 runs on 4 hits. Marco Estrada has allowed 2 runs on 3 hits. High fly ball. Danny Santana waits in center, and he makes the catch. 1 down. Tough time of the night for fielders. That ball goes up in this twilight sky. It's hard to pick it up. You really got to stay focused on it.
If you're in the outfield right now, you're saying, don't hit it to me for 10 more minutes. 10 more minutes, and then the sky will be dark. The ball will go up above the lights. I'll be able to find the ball one more time.
First pitch breaking ball to Jimmy Paredes.
Both of these pitchers have been outstanding today. They've worked quickly. They've thrown a ton of strikes. They have mixed things up. They've had a good feel for pitching tonight.
Well, to be quite honest with you, both teams are struggling with the bats. And they have thrown strikes and they have mixed it up. Neither one of these ball clubs really wearing it out right now.
Help me out, guys. If it goes up there, I can't see the ball. It's twilight right now. Let me know where it is. That is the center fielder who had no problem. It sure seemed like it.
Yeah, but all of the guys on the corners, they might have a better angle on that ball when it goes up. So you've got to communicate. Infielders got to help the outfielders. 3-1 to Jimmy Paredes. He fouls it straight back off the screen.
Danny Santana didn't have to play in the Metrodome. So anything other than the Metrodome is going to be easier to play.
Did you ever lose one off that roof?
Heck yeah. Almost got domed playing in the outfield one night. Trying to look up and find the ball again, almost hit me.
Ground ball. A couple of hops for Mauer. 2 up, 2 down here in the 7th. Yeah, when the teams go into the Metrodome, well, it was still the home park for this ball club. Coaches used to have a code 1, 2, and 3 according to where the pop-ups went. First base side was 1, 2 was behind home plate. Popped up third was 3, and oftentimes you look up into that white roof and lose it totally.
How about bloopers into the outfield too? Those were sure doubles. I never played on a surface that was as springy and spongy as the Metrodome.
Yeah, it was really a challenging field for visiting teams because that ball would drop between an outfielder and an infielder and then go 15 feet in the air. Russell Martin singled his last time up, takes a breaking ball for a strike. It's 1-1. We're in the top of the 7th. Minnesota scored a single run in the 1st and 3rd. Blue Jays tied it up on a 2-run home run by Encarnacion in the 6th. Breaking ball, and Martin strikes out. 5 strikeouts for Santana as the Blue Jays go down in order in the top of the 7th.
Jays on Sportsnet. Presented by the all-new Honda Civic, now available with Turbo, the 2016 North American Car of the Year.
Got a good ball game going on here in Minneapolis. A 2-2 game as we move to the bottom of the 7th. Both starters doing a terrific job tonight. There's only been 7 hits in the game. Marco Estrada and Urban Santana. Estrada allowed 5 runs his last game. It was at Texas over 6 innings.
Just wasn't very sharp in that game with his 4 walks, falling behind a lot of the hitters. Tonight, though, he's hit his spots.
So fly ball to right. Bautista's got a beat on it. Trevor Poof is retired on 1 pitch. Young Hope Park. He struck out in the 2nd and popped out in the 6th. Park has an uppercut swing, but he's really not that good of a low ball hitter, which is kind of unusual.
You know why? I think because he locks out his elbow when he gets ready to swing the bat. Pitch is on its way, and he straightens that left arm and almost sweeps at the baseball.
Remember your old coaches used to talk about that arm bar swing where
Yes.
you straighten out that bottom arm.
That's what he does.
Went after that pitch and strikes out for a 2nd time. Good curveball that time by Estrada.
When you swing like that, you got to get it started early, and it's tough to lay off of it. You got a one swing type of approach at the plate. Marco Estrada takes advantage of that and flips that curve in there.
Osvaldo Arcia, the left fielder, has grounded out to first and was thrown out on a attempted bunt right out in front of home plate. Russell Martin threw him out. Off speed pitch, he's out on that front foot and opposite foul.
He's got tremendous power, sitting on that fastball all the time. Marco Estrada throws a couple of change-ups to him, get him off balance.
We saw Arcia hitting during extra BP today, and he was putting on a show. He was hitting him up onto the landing beyond the right field seats.
You heard that saying in baseball, the ballpark can't hold him. Well, the ballpark literally couldn't hold him today. He was hitting him over the seats and out on the concourse in right field.
He's had success against the Blue Jays. 9 for 26 for his career. You know that saying, ballpark can't hold him. There's another saying, he's a good 5 o'clock hitter.
This was more like 3:30, wasn't it, or 3 o'clock? But yeah, you're right.
Swings it well in batting practice. You've had teammates like that in the past.
Yeah.
Changeup. He strikes out. Boy, another good inning for Marco Estrada. A couple of strikeouts. He's got 8 in the ball game. What a start for his season. Chris Sale having a terrific start. Irvin Santana, he's throwing the ball well. He's thrown 101 pitches through 7 innings. He's allowed 2 earned runs, a 2-run home run by Edwin Encarnacion.
And that's where we sit 2-2. Chris Sale's allowed 37 hits and 10 walks this year in 66 innings pitched. That's the most innings. He just took over from Marcus Stroman for the most innings pitched in the American League. 10 walks.
Kevin Pillar reaches for that breaking ball and loops it down the right field line. Joe Mauer makes a nice catch. Running away from first base, over the shoulder catch in foul ground.
Joe Mauer showing off his athletic skill. Remember, he was an all-star catcher. Now trying to learn first base, over the shoulder. No chance that Dozier could make that catch or Sano, the right fielder. It's going to be Joe Mauer or nobody. And Mauer hauls it in.
You see how he kind of leaned to the right as he felt Sano coming in from right field, but he was able to make the play. That is Brandon Kintzler loosening up as Santana is over 100 pitches, as we mentioned. 1 out, back to the top of the order. Jose Bautista, he has hit the ball hard twice tonight, singled in his first at bat. It's not often in this era of baseball that a batter faces a pitcher 4 times in a game. But boy, if you can get Bautista, Donaldson, and Encarnacion to face the starter 4 times, chances are they're going to run into something.
They're going to find something. He's going to make a mistake. And with their power, they're going to knock the ball out of the ballpark. Pitchers just don't go long enough to face him 4 times.
Now,
the advent of the bullpen and the usage of the bullpen.
And Tampa Bay, they've even used the don't pitch 3 times to the order. And they had their starters go short.
How about that for some respect?
Bautista gets a breaking ball.
3-0. 3-0 breaking ball from Santana. He wanted no part of Jose Bautista that time.
36 walks now for Bautista. He leads the American League in that department. Second on that list, Joe Mauer has 26. It was a walk and a homer in the 6th that tied it up. Donaldson walked and then Encarnacion homered.
That was a good pitch right there for Donaldson. He was in between. The timing just wasn't right for him. How many times have we seen him cream those balls? Fastball down and away like that.
On the ground. Nunez to second for 1. Dozier back to first. Double play, and just like that, the inning is over. First double play turned by the Twins tonight will go to the bottom of the 8th. It's a 2-2 game. Now time for Blue Jays Central Update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn in the Samsung broadcast studio. broadcast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. Edwin Encarnacion, his home run, a 2-run shot, his 9th of the season, has tied it up. It's a 2-2 game. Marco Estrada and Irvin Santana matching pitch for pitch tonight. Estrada pitching 7 innings for the 3rd time this season. Marco has thrown 96 pitches, his season high 118. That game against the White Sox over 6 2/3.
It's been almost perfect tonight, if you ask me. He gave up that run after the error by the second baseman and a sacrifice fly in the 1st inning. Then an infield single on a bunt, a stolen base, and then a 2-out hit by Mauer. Other than that, he's shut him out.
Kurt Suzuki, the catcher, the 2-1 count. Just off the plate. 3-1. Suzuki leading off the bottom of the 8th.
I think you have to retire Suzuki. If he gets on, then Santana, you know he's going to be bunting him over. And you got Dozier and Nunez, so you got to retire
Cutter
Suzuki.
squibbed off the end of the bat. Paredes at second. Quickly in time at first base. Boy, there's a good example of when you should throw the cutter.
3-1, and you get it off the barrel of the bat. Actually hits it off the end of the bat. Paredes had a long way to go for that ball. He was shading him up the middle. And when he cued it off the end of the bat, he had a long way to go, and in one motion makes the out.
100 pitches, and Estrada is in good shape. I mentioned his season high 118. Danny Santana has been on base twice. Joe Biagini, boy, he's getting some big innings in his rookie season.
And he has handled it too.
Well, we must point out that Jesse Chavez is spending his 2nd game of his 3-game suspension tonight. Began that suspension last night in Toronto, so he'll be unavailable tonight and tomorrow.
So Joe Biagini will slide right into his spot in that bullpen.
Changeup, strike 3. Santana retired on strikes. 9 strikeouts for him. Marco Estrada, that ties his season high. He also had 9 in Baltimore against the Orioles in April.
He's had a great changeup tonight. He threw a bunch of them in the 1st inning. You could tell he felt good with it. He just keeps going back to it. That's how you neutralize Danny Santana. He's been on base a couple of times.
Dozier hits one high and deep to left, but that's going to stay in the ballpark. Michael Sanders in the middle of the warning track makes the easy catch. Marco Estrada, 8 strong innings. Now they got to get him a run. The all-new Honda Civic, the 2016 North American Car of the Year.
Partner, I got to talk really fast because this ball gets out of here so fast by Edwin Encarnacion. I'm not going to have enough time to talk about it. First pitch from Santana after the walk to Donaldson. Edwin Encarnacion with that chicken wing up, our drive of the game on a laser into the second deck here at Target Field.
Well, we mentioned the Blue Jays had two batters face Santana for a fourth time, and that's going to be it. New pitcher into the ballgame is Kevin Jepson. 2 saves in 5 opportunities. Of course, it's a tie game right now, and Jepson's a hard thrower.
Can't save anything in extra innings, and you're at home, so he is their closer. He will enter for the 17th time this season. Just 2 for 5 in save opportunities. 5 save opportunities all season long. They haven't had one since April. 15 and a third innings. Righties hitting .308, which is a mystery because he's got a quick arm, a good fastball, 2-seam, 4-seam fastball, and a hard, quick breaking ball. The righties have lit him up this year.
Edwin Encarnacion with that home run his last time up in the 6th. It's a 2-2 game. Everybody on that Blue Jay bench has to be thinking, man, Estrada's pitching his butt off. Let's get him a couple of runs.
A couple more runs. He's been averaging 2 runs every time he takes the mound this year. He's at the average right now with 2. Let's get him 2 more. Get him a win.
Jepson keeping that ball away, and Marco once again another real strong start. Ball and a strike. Way outside this time. Encarnacion just 1 at bat against Jepson. He has a hit. Off the plate. Borderline pitch called a strike.
Edwin couldn't believe that one. I think that one might have cut off the plate.
Outside. I don't know that I've ever seen an outfielder play on the warning track. The left fielder, Osvaldo Arcia, is literally standing with his heels on the warning track. I mean, that's about as deep as you can get.
Anything over your head, it's gone. Right?
Encarnacion strikes out, and the bat goes into the seats.
Well, we haven't seen that in a while from Edwin Encarnacion, where he loses that bat and helicopters it into the stands. Jepson, he's a guy you can't get the ball in the air. He throws hard, he cuts the ball, he's got a good 2 and 4-seam fastball. And Edwin goes to get this outside pitch and loses the bat. Somebody's got a souvenir in the stands.
You can see it's just beyond that protective screen that has been added to this dugout. Justin Smoak 0 for 3. Fastball on the outside corner. Smoak has a home run against Jepson. The right-hander from Minnesota has allowed 3 home runs this season.
Well, you pointed that the left fielder was playing deep. How about the right fielder doing the same thing? They got that overhang also in right field that hangs over the warning track. So anything over his head is going to land right into that flower box. Man. You know what you got to do? You got to pick up on that if you're the Blue Jays. And if you hit a ball on the ground,
got to get to second.
You got to get to second base. Their outfielders, especially their corner outfielders, are not real fast. So if you've got any kind of speed, you've got to be thinking 2.
Smoak strikes out. Looked like a breaking ball. A couple of strikeouts for Jepson here in the 9th.
love that hammer curveball. He'll use it for strikeouts. With 2 strikes, watch how this one goes down. Puts it in a good spot. Job by Suzuki smothering that ball to finish off that at bat. Jepson became the closer when Perkins went on the disabled list, their normal all-star closer.
Michael Saunders takes one away. Jepson came to the Twins last July 31st in a trade from Tampa Bay. He began his career with the Angels. Got his first big league action in 2008. Had 10 saves a year ago for Minnesota. Good fastball. The Twins are 10-29. And they're in a 2-2 game here in the ninth. Roberto Osuna, he hasn't pitched much recently at all in this 2-2 game. Looks like he's ready to come in. Pitch the bottom of the ninth.
You got to score a run, get him in. Tough to do something dramatic against Kevin Jepson. Told you it's tough to get the ball in the air against him because he throws so hard and his ball moves so much. A couple of strikeouts here in the 9th inning. Michael Saunders is just looking to get on board.
Two-2 pitch. Checked his swing. No swing according to Mark Rippiger at third. Blue Jays have lost 5 straight games. That's a season high. First time they have lost 5 games since last May. Fly ball into right, so no, a long run. He's not going to get it. Hits at the base of the wall. Saunders is headed for second, and he'll get there with a 2-out double. They're playing no doubles and still can't make a play on it.
And it still gets over his head. Playing almost on the warning track in the corners in left field and right field, and still Michael Saunders is able to get the ball over his head. He just couldn't get it up high enough to get it out of the ballpark, but they'll have a guy in scoring position. This ball is on a line. And by the time Sano runs that one down, Michael Saunders is at second base. Now we got to get him in.
Troy Tulowitzki. He would love to cash in. High fastball, 96, but well up.
Troy has had so many of these opportunities so far in this season. Early parts of this season through the first 40-something games. Late in the game with runners in scoring position. He's got to come through here for his team.
Upstairs. Jepson's got his good fastball. Five of the 8 home runs Tulowitzki has hit this season have been hit in the 7th inning or later. And of course we're in the 9th, so that's plenty later.
Paintage. You said that Jepson's got a good fastball, but just like Roberto Osuna, there just has not been the opportunities to pitch. Being the closer for the Minnesota Twins, the last time he pitched was 4 days ago. So he should be well rested. Should have a good fastball.
It's downstairs. The Saunders double with 2 outs continues a trend he has established all year. Coming up big, 7th inning or later. Came into this game with a .442 average, 7th inning or later. That's always against setup guys and closers. Tulowitzki drills it deep to center. This ball is hit a ton, and Santana gets there and makes the catch. Danny Santana, converted shortstop, has made the adjustment, utilizing that great speed, and he robs Tulowitzki of an extra base hit in deep center field. This ball looked like it was going to get over his head, but Santana makes the catch. That pleases Kevin Jepson. Hard as you can, but to the deepest part of this ballpark, and Danny Santana, the center fielder, ran it down to save a run.
We kept talking about the outfielders playing deep. Well, Danny Santana was deep, but he uses great speed to get back. 4-11 to left center field. Hauled that one in. When it was off the bat, I thought it was gone, or at least off the wall for a Blue Jay run, but he hauls it in, and now Roberto Osuna comes into the game to keep it a 2-2 game. 18th time we have seen Osuna this year. He's 1-0 with a 169 earned run average. He leads the club in saves. Righties hitting 231, lefties 161. And Osuna will get a chance to pitch. And it's been a couple of days since we last saw him.
Eduardo Nunez goes after the first pitch and fouls it back.
Osuna last worked Sunday in that 7-6 loss to the Rangers down in Texas on getaway day.
Nunez behind, and they have given him a steady diet of fastballs, and this is a little better fastball from Osuna than Nunez saw from Estrada. But Marco handled him well. He was 0 for 3 with a pair of strikeouts, and now Osuna's ahead 0-2. Marco Estrada retired the final 11 men he faced in this ball game, and he's going to end up with a no decision. Both starters are out of the game.
Blue Jays could only get 2 runs for him again.
8 straight starts, 2 runs or less. Nunez strikes out for a 3rd time, 1 out. Now for a preview of what's coming up next on Sportsnet Central. Here's Ken Reed and Ivanka Osman. Ivanka, thank you very much. That's coming up right after this show. We want to congratulate Ivanka for another job well done on the Jays Care broadcast auction. Joe Mauer has singled and driven in a run. Had a 2-out single in the 3rd.
Not a lot of history between the Minnesota Twins and Roberto Osuna. There's only been a handful of batters that have actually faced Osuna in his young career.
They played 7 times last year. And for Osuna, he hasn't faced them very much. For Osuna, this is just his 3rd appearance against Minnesota. Pitched a total of 2 innings, had a couple of walks and a strikeouts.
This is Joe Mauer's 2nd at bat against Osuna. It's the most anybody's ever had against Roberto.
Change up in the dirt. 2-1, 1 out. Brandon Kitzler was up earlier. Kevin Jepson, the closer, pitched the 9th and handled Encarnacion and Smoke. Saunders hit a double, then Tulowitzki smoked the ball to deep center field, but Danny Santana ran it down for the final out of the 9th.
I can't believe, 1, that ball stayed in the ballpark, and 2, he caught it.
Bauer hits it sharply. Nice play by Tulowitzki. Look at that throw. Boy, that ball came up right at the end, and he had that quick reaction and then threw a strike going away from the infield.
You know, he just got robbed of a game-winning hit in my mind, but he doesn't take it out to the field. He stays right with that ball. That's an in-between hop that takes a wicked hop and then spins and fires a strike over to first base.
Let me tell you something. You just don't understand how difficult it is to make that accurate a throw. Going away from the infield, from the outfield grass, spinning around 360. What a play. Anything offline, Bauer reaches. Miguel Sano picked up a sac fly in the 1st. He has since struck out twice. I would stay so hard on this guy. Don't let him extend. Fastballs inside.
He's got plenty of power. He doesn't have to pull the ball to knock it out of the ballpark. That was a pitch to hit. Fastball right down the middle.
The squibber off the end of the bat, and Smoke's going to go to the bag. We're going to go to extra innings once again. It's a 2-2 game, 1st of 4 here in Minnesota.
Blue Jays for a Day contest for a chance to win a great Blue Jays on-field experience. For details, entry form, and rules, go to bluejays.com/Bacardi contest. It closes on Thursday, June 30th at 4:59 p.m. Buck?
Thank you very much, Barry Davis, and I'm sure a lot of fans here are going to think about entering that contest. This is Brandon Kitzler, the second reliever to work tonight. Kevin Jepson had a good inning in the 9th. We're in the 10th now, and it's Kitzler.
Kitzler was originally drafted by the Padres back in 2004. Get this, in the 40th round. He has kicked around a little bit, actually played for the St. Paul Saints in the Independent League. Twins signed him as a free agent last December. He's a sinker slider combo type of pitcher. He'll use his changeup versus left-handers. Here are his numbers, and he'll get a left-hander here to lead off the 10th.
It is Star Wars night here at Target Field, and a lot of Star Wars characters were on the field before the game. They had a bunch of stormtroopers there, and a lot of the fans have gotten into the spirit of the night. Jimmy Paredes has gone 0 for 3 so far, 3 ground ball outs. Big swing and a miss. Paredes hit a home run last night at Rogers Center, opposite field home run.
I'll take a double to lead off the inning.
A leadoff double.
I'll take the home run, of course. Chances are he'll hit a double because he's been swinging the bat.
Fastball away. 1-2.
He's got a deceptive delivery just a little bit. One of those sneaky fastballs. Good versus lefties.
This is the 5th appearance for Kinsler since he was recalled. Recalled prior to the game on May 7th. Full count. Russell Martin waits on deck. Blue Jays need a base runner. The Jays are 1-3 in extra innings this season. We're in the 10th. That ball is in the gap, and that's going to get down and go up against the wall. Paredes is on his way to second, and there's your leadoff double, Mr. Tapper.
That is a good piece of hitting right there from Paredes. He did his scouting on Kinsler. He'll throw that sinker to lefties down and away. Instead of trying to pull it, just go right with it. Even though the Minnesota Twins outfielders were deep once again, Blue Jays going to find the gap, slicing it between Arcia and Santana for extra bases. All right, that's the first part of the puzzle. The second part of the puzzle here, you got to get him over to third base.
Sure do. Russell Martin's at the plate. 2-2 ball game. Martin takes an outside pitch.
The corners, you can see the corners on this defense expecting a bunt from Russell Martin. This should play right into Russell's hand right here. He can handle the bat and can hit the ball the other way. Just tell yourself you're going to go to right field.
Get up on the plate, slap it to the right side. Hit it on the ground. Paredes can go.
What they're going to have to be aware of, the runner at second base, if he hits it right at Joe Mauer, the first baseman, he is in on the corners. Mauer's telling Plouffe right now, hey, if I get a ground ball, I'm going to throw it to you. Be ready.
Martin takes a shot and fouls it back.
A couple of strikes now. Joe Mauer has not given any ground at first base.
If you're thinking about Russell Martin bunting, he has 10 career sacrifice bunts and 5,265 plate appearances. Doesn't do it a lot. Inside out swing, and he gets jammed with that pitch.
Stay on it as long as possible. He's still trying to hit the ball the other way. That's his strength.
Jimmy Paredes at second with a leadoff double here in the 10th. Off the plate. Minnesota is 1-2 playing in extra inning games this season. The Twins bullpen, they have been battered and bruised all season long. Russell does a good job, but that's foul. The Twins bullpen has allowed 10.29 hits per 9 innings. They've allowed 23 home runs. They are 12th in walks per 9 innings, and they're just about last in every category you can have in the bullpen.
You see a 14 or a 15 in that for AL ranks in a lot of those categories.
Off the plate. Full count. Kevin Pillar batting 9th. He'll be next. Boy, Blue Jays, talk about a team desperate for a win.
Grind this out.
They have lost 5 straight. Better swing at that pitch away, and he fouls it into the seats.
I like the approach. You know, he has fought back now to get ahead in the count, 3-2. But stay disciplined. Discipline yourself that you're still going to be thinking about hitting the ball the other way. You're going to stay on it as long as possible to hit it the other way.
Foul tipped it off the glove of the catcher, Kurt Suzuki.
Martin has faced Kinsler a couple of times in his career, so he knows what he throws. Everything has been away to him also.
Quite a battle going on here. You talk about persistence. Brandon Kinsler, he is the essence of persistence. He worked in a Cold Stone Creamery in Las Vegas that was owned by his sister. He also worked in the front office of the Winnipeg Goldeyes during the 2008 off-season, selling season tickets for that independent league team.
Always still thinking about pitching, playing in the big leagues.
Martin does his job as he's going to move Paredes over to third. Good at bat for Russell Martin. Baby steps for the Blue Jays for sure.
You know, that will go down as an 0 for 1 at bat. But for the Blue Jays, that was huge. You got a tough right-handed pitcher, sinker, slider. You've only faced him twice in your career. You can see the high fives from everybody. They know how tough that at bat was for Russell Martin.
Well, this team is trying to get something turned around. They have really struggled over their last 3 games, including tonight. They are 0 for their last 13 with runners in scoring position.
And with that at bat by Russell Martin, getting him over third base, they don't need a hit here now to score a run. How about a long fly ball? That's how you manufacture runs. That's fundamental hitting, something that they were so good at. We'll take a base hit. Infield in now with Pillar at the plate.
Pillar 0 for 3. Takes a first pitch strike. Blue Jays have 2 runs on 6 hits. The Minnesota Twins have 2 runs on 3 hits.
With the infield in and Bautista on deck, I don't think they're going to try and steal a run here. Using the contact play.
Yeah, this is probably a situation Luis Rivera says you got to stay right here until that ball goes through the infield.
Make the ball go through. What you don't want to do is get too far off that base in a line drive at one of those infielders and get doubled off.
Foul ball down the right side. Going back to the last 3 games against Tampa Bay, Kevin Pillar is 0 for 15. Wins have been tough to come by for the Blue Jays, obviously losing 5 straight. The Twins have 10 wins all season long. And there's a lot of tension in this 10th inning.
On both dugouts, in both of them. You can see Pilar, look at him stepping out and taking a deep breath, trying to relax himself.
Way outside. Nobody throwing in the Twins bullpen. Encarnacion with a 2-run home run in the 6th. He's driven in all the Blue Jay runs. Ground ball to third. Paredes has to hold. 2 down.
A couple of pitches prior to that swing. Plouffe, remember we showed him in early in that at bat against Pilar. Well, he took a couple of steps back on the dirt and was able to snare that ball. Looked like it was heading into left field.
By backing up a couple of steps, gave himself a couple of steps of range to his left. Jose Bautista 1 for 3 with a walk. He's had a good night at the plate. He's stung the ball a couple of times tonight. Small sample, but good results for Bautista against Kinsler. Ground ball. Dive by Nunez, thrown to first and held on to by Mauer. What a play. Nunez from his back made a good play, gloved it, and then rolled over and threw a 1-hop strike to Mauer, who handled the low throw. The Twins playing like they're in first place. A 1-hop scoop by Mauer, and the Blue Jays are denied in the 10th. We go to the bottom of the 10th. Still a 2-2 ball game. Roberto Osuna hits the bottom of the 9th. Trevor Plouffe for Minnesota. It's the first pitch strike.
How about that? Top of the inning right there. Leadoff double. They get him over there. And then the team, Minnesota Twins, only Oakland has made more errors. They come up with 2 great plays to deny the Blue Jays.
Eduardo Nunez dove and snared the ground ball off the bat of Bautista. And then Joe Mauer hung on and made a nice play on the low scoop.
I didn't think he had a chance to get Bautista at first base. It was hit hard. He dove, took his time. And Osuna makes it look easy against Plouffe. 2 outs now. The infield can move back. Nunez dives, look, and then he slides. How long it takes him to recover. Get the ball. Fire over to first base on one hop. And then dug out over there by Joe Mauer for the Blue Jays. Nothing is working with right now.
The Twins have been retired 15 straight batters. And this is Young-Ho Park. He has struck out twice tonight. He's 0 for 3. Minnesota has just 3 hits tonight. One's a bunt single. Danny Santana had a bunt single in the 3rd. He scored the 2nd Twins run. Mauer had an RBI single in the 3rd, and first batter of the game, Brian Dozier, hit a single to center. That's it.
That hit by Mauer was after an infield hit on a bunt and then a stolen base. The other run scored after an error.
Donaldson makes a grab in foul territory. He was hugging the line and played it beautifully.
You know, they talk about no doubles, nothing between you, the fielder, and that bag, because if it gets by you down the line, that's extra bases. You've got a runner in scoring position. This was going to be a foul ball, but because he's on the line, it's a step and a dive. Gosh, Donaldson, what a great play.
Osvaldo Arcia, he's 0 for 3. Struck out his last time. He was the 8th strikeout victim of Marco Estrada, who ended up with a season high tying 9 strikeouts. Pumped that fastball right by him.
Threw it right by him. He threw him an off-speed pitch, that first pitch, and then pumped that fastball as Ryan Presley starts to get loose. Same result.
97. Osuna has really developed into a terrific pitcher. Not only does he have great stuff, but he knows how to use it.
His changeup is a lot better. His slider is a lot better. But that bread and butter, fastball.
Broken bat, little flare into right. Bautista will get there, and that's the inning. We're going to go to the 11th. Good defense, obviously, in extra innings, and this time it's Josh Donaldson diving into foul territory to record the out. 11th inning of a 2-2 game, and when you get into extra innings, defense becomes very prominent.
Yeah, first of all, pitching and then defense. How about Danny Santana taking away extra bases from Troy Tulowitzki? So Tulo's going to take a base hit away from Joe Mauer. And then Nunez, right now, the game saver right here with a runner at third base and 2 outs. Takes a hit and an RBI away from Jose Bautista. And then just last inning, Josh Donaldson with an outstanding play. So 4 quick plays here in extra innings have kept this game tied at 2.
A couple of Blue Jay hitters hit what appeared to be game-winning hits, and they were denied by good plays defensively from the Twins. Donaldson, Encarnacion, and Smoke for the Blue Jays. New pitcher for the Twins, Ryan Presley, the big right-hander, making his 20th appearance of the season.
He is averaging a strikeout in an inning, 22 strikeouts in 22 innings pitched for Presley, but an elevated ERA up over 5. Fastball and a power curveballs, basically what he will feature. This is a lot like Kevin Jepson, and well, Buck, you saw it. I've seen it. It's the first time.
I've never seen that. I mean, if you have to get that far back, you're not a very good outfielder.
It hasn't helped him at all tonight.
No, Sano tried that, and Donaldson is called for the swing by Joe West. That's the strikeout to start the 11th.
Well, just like Kevin Jepson, who was the closer we saw earlier in this game, Presley's the same type of guy. He's got the same arsenal. Hard fastball like that and a quick snapping curveball. Josh Donaldson can't hold up. That's how you average a strikeout an inning.
Edwin Encarnacion has represented the entire Blue Jays offense tonight. To run a home run, he also had a single in the first. Two for 4 with a couple of strikeouts. Ryan Presley, the 3rd Twins reliever to work tonight. He went around.
Been with the Twins since 2012. He was a Rule 5 pick, Presley, and he's been impressive against the Blue Jays.
Outside. 3-1 to Encarnacion. Smoke waits on deck. Osuna has gone 2 innings, so Joe Biagini starts to loosen up for the Blue Jays.
Oh, Edwin wanted that ball inside, didn't he? 3-1. He finally got a fastball, but it's away from him. Arcia, the left fielder, keeps moving around out there. The next thing you know, he's going to be up against the wall.
And that's going to get down well in front of Arcia as he has to come all the way in from the fence in left field. Encarnacion, a 3-hit ball game.
He was sprinting in from left field. He knew that Encarnacion, if he doesn't hustle in there, might think about going to second base. He is sawed off, but that's going to be a base hit. And here comes Arcia, hard charging to hold Encarnacion to a single.
So Palmeier is out to make a pitching change, a broken bat single off Ryan Presley, and that's it for him. Encarnacion's at first base with 1 out. Justin Smoke, a switch hitter, and they're going to turn him around. Or excuse me, Michael Saunders is on deck after Smoke, so it'll be the lefty Fernando Abad coming into this ball game. 2-2 game in the 11th. for the Yankees against the former Blue Jay Kendall Graveman for Oakland. This is Fernando Abad making his 18th appearance. He comes in to turn Justin Smoke around and have him batting right-handed.
Look at those numbers for Abad in 18 games now. 0.61 earned run average. Lefties haven't got a hit off of him yet. 14 strikeouts and 4 walks this year. His four-seam fastball comes right after you. Throws different speeds with his curveball, this decent changeup. He's going to move Smoke over to the right-handed batter's box, so he's a little bit further away from first base in case there is a ground ball. Ezequiel Carrera has come into the ball game to pinch run for Edwin Encarnacion, so a little bit more speed.
Speed's really important with as deep as these outfielders are playing. You get a guy at first base, you hit a gapper. By the time they get to it from where they're positioned, he can score from first. Justin Smoke 0 for 4, all as a lefty batter tonight. First time he's turned around and hit right-handed. Breaking ball, base hit. Carrera stops at second. Justin Smoke got that first pitch breaking ball and ripped it through the hole on the left side.
Fernando Abad throws that breaking ball on the first pitch. Watch the catcher. He thinks it's a fastball.
It crossed him up, and it cost him a base hit. So now first and second. 1 out. Michael Saunders.
Tell you what, the outfield's not going to play on the warning track now. No way.
Saunders doubled to the wall in right center his last time up.
How do you cross up your catcher with a runner at first base?
After you just left the mound talking about the signs and the next at bat.
Well, one's a fastball, two's a curve, right? I mean, there's no throwing down the signs, multiple signs.
Saunders goes after the first pitch and pops it a mile high into center field. Santana makes the catch, and Saunders is retired. 2 outs now. Troy Tulowitzki, and this is part of the reason they went to Abad. They turned Smoke around. They have the perception he's a better left-handed hitter than right. Then they have Saunders. And Troy Tulowitzki this season is hitting 114 against lefty pitching.
114. He is due. He has faced Abad a couple of times, has a hit, that hit being a home run. Time to make up for that last at bat. That last at bat, he smoked the ball to 4-11 sign in left center field and was robbed of a hit. So he's got another chance right here.
Tulowitzki, a career .320 hitter against lefty pitching prior to this season. You mentioned just hitting 114. Changeup floats in there for a strike. Ball on the strike.
Abad likes to go quick. There's not a lot of hesitation when he gets the sign. He has got to come to a stop.
Tried to check his swing and went around. 1-2. Tulowitzki smoked the ball to deep center his last time up. But Santana made a running catch to end the inning. That was in the ninth. Way outside. We're in the top of the 11th. It's a 2-2 game. The Blue Jays have 8 hits. They've stranded 5 so far in this game, and they have 2 runners on here with 2 outs. base hit up the middle. Carrera's coming around third. He's going to score, and Tulowitzki has given the Blue Jays the lead. Troy Tulowitzki drives home the pinch runner, Ezequiel Carrera, from second. And it's a 3-2 Blue Jays lead.
He talked about he's starting to feel pretty good at the plate. Tulo hit a couple of balls hard to center field. Another time he was robbed. Well, he wasn't going to be denied this time. Fights this pitch off and lines it into center field. Breaks the tie in the 11th inning with that big base hit. Carrera with a nice turn at third base. He had a good secondary lead. Scores without a throw.
21 RBIs for Tulowitzki now, and the Blue Jays have the lead here in the 11th. Jimmy Paredes, a switch hitter, takes a big floater in there, and it's a ball. Paredes hit a leadoff double in the 10th. Got to third base, but that's as far as he could advance. Breaking ball off the plate outside. Paredes, a switch hitter. He was a natural right-handed hitter, but started switch hitting at a very young age. Said 7 or 8 years old. He's been switch hitting ever since.
I tell you, that could be a good pickup for the Blue Jays. They needed some kind of bat off the bench, a guy who could switch hit like that. He had a good at bat his last time up.
Mauer over near the wall. He'll slide, and the ball bounces into the seats out of play.
Paredes doubled the left center field leading off the 10th inning. And was stranded at third base. Now he has a chance to put the Blue Jays up by a couple of runs.
Two balls and a strike. Smokes at second, Tulowitzki at first, and there's strike 2. Fernando Abad in relief here with 1 out. Gave up a first pitch base hit to Smoke. Got Saunders to fly out the center, and Tulowitzki with an RBI single to center. Full count. Smoke from second, Tulowitzki from first. He'll get a running start with 2 outs.
That's right. Justin Smoke will get that running start. Make sure you go home right here. The outfielders for the Minnesota Twins, they've only had 2 outfield assists of the 3 outfielders out there. RC has got 2 outfield assists. Santana and Sano zip.
Mod with a little quick pitch right there. You can see the bench recognizing that, say, hey man, he's got to stop.
So I mean, he likes to get it and go. So you make the umpires aware of that. Doesn't do it on every pitch. Certain pitch, he quick pitches. Got to make him stop.
Another 3-2 pitch to Paredes. Change up, little looper down the right side. Now giving chase, but it'll drop in foul ground.
Well, that one was too close to take for Paredes, and he basically threw his bat at the ball just to try to keep this at bat alive. It's like Abad took something off that, maybe turned it over a little bit. One more time. Watch this. He knows he can't do much with this pitch, so he just throws the bat at the ball, try and foul it off.
Runners are on the move. Ground ball, foul. Again, not much of a stop, just a change of direction from Abad.
Got a unique way of coming set. His front foot taps 3 times, and then he throws the ball. Other times he just comes up and fires.
All 4 bases are loaded. So Ahmad comes into this ball game, gives up a couple of singles, and now he has walked Paredes. Russell Martin, he's 1 for 4. He singled back in the 5th. Smoke, Tulowitzki, and Paredes on the bases. A run in here in the 11th.
That's not going to get it done. That swing. Abad throws that sinking fastball, and Russell took a wild swing at it. I'd like to see that approach he had his last at bat, where he really stayed on the ball and was able to move that runner. The pressure is on the pitcher to come to you in these situations. He's got to come and make a good pitch to you. You take what he gives you.
Perfect pitch, down and away. Blue Jays shook up the lineup. Bautista led off tonight. Encarnacion hitting the 3rd spot. They have 9 hits. Strike 3 call. Martin caught looking at that strike. Blue Jays leave the bases loaded, but Troy Tulowitzki comes up with a big base hit to drive home Carrera. 3-2 Blue Jays. The Blue Jays have a 3-2 lead. With that, Joe Biagini has been called into this ball game, and it'll be his first save opportunity
of his big league career. There are his numbers in 11 games. He is pitching in higher leverage situations for sure. 10 strikeouts and 6 walks this season. Biagini last worked, in yesterday's game against Tampa Bay. No decision. He threw an inning. It was a clean inning. 0.63 earned run average. His curveball's better. He's got a good moving fastball. Another defensive change for the Blue Jays. Ryan Goins comes in at second base and takes over for Jimmy Paredes.
Biagini threw just 14 pitches in that game yesterday. Gavin Floyd threw 2 innings and 30 pitches. So Biagini is fresh. Jorge Polanco comes off the bench. He will hit for Kurt Suzuki, the catcher. Bottom of the 11th. Biagini misses with that first pitch breaking ball. There's a fastball strike. 1-1. Blanco signed as a amateur free agent by the Twins in 2009. He's had a couple of opportunities in the major leagues in 2014 and 2015 with the Twins. Off the end of the bat, right to the shortstop, Tulowitzki.
Who's also been their most experienced pinch hitter. That was his 6th pinch hit appearance this year. Still looking for his first hit. And that's what Joe Biagini can do. That good fastball. When it's down in the strike zone with that type of movement, he's going to get a share of ground balls.
Danny Santana, the center fielder, batting 9th, shows bunt, pulls the bat back. Santana had a bunt single in the 3rd. He scored the 2nd Twins run in the 3rd. He's had a couple of stolen bases tonight.
Got to keep that speed off the bases. Josh Donaldson creeping in on the pitch. He was bringing that one with him. Meaning he's going to drag that one up the first base line. He's probably going to pick on Justin Smoak and say, okay, I can beat Justin Smoak to the bag.
Little cutter. Goins missed the ball. Trying for the backhand. They better hurry. Santana with a big turn, but Pilar gets to it quickly. Goins just into the ball game defensively. Got a tough play. He was going for the backhand, and the ball stayed down, and it kicked off his glove into center.
Trying to catch it and throw it all in the same motion. Santana gets out of the box. You can see him reaching down for that ball. He knows with the speed he's got to hurry, but that ball stayed down on the in-between up.
He had to go so far to his right, it was a do-or-die play. It's a base hit for Santana, his 2nd of the night, just the 4th for Minnesota. And now Biagini's got to keep him close. Brian Dozier, the leadoff man.
They might let Dozier hit before they try and let him steal. He's got power. Knock the ball out of the ballpark. If he makes an out, if they get him, then they might have Santana try and steal.
Ground ball, foul. Backhanded by Donaldson. Biagini is working out of the bullpen, but he's always been a starter. So that gives him experience as far as controlling the running game. It's not like he comes in and pitches an inning here and there. He has started throughout his minor league career, so he has dealt with base runners before. So he's holding the ball very effectively with Santana at first. Santana's 2 stolen bases tonight. He's got 9 for the season, but he's been caught 4 times. Step off. Good job by Biagini. He held it, and Santana lost his cool.
Remember his 2nd stolen base tonight, Santana. He got that running start against Marco Estrada, timed him up perfectly. Biagini held. Watch the head move. Now you step off. For a young kid who hasn't pitched above Double-A until this year, he is cool. Step off, find the runner, make a good throw to Goins.
He handled that perfectly. 2 outs. Dozier.
How about you and me both yelling step off? Does that take us back or what?
You were a first baseman. I was a catcher. That's what we do. Little cutter right there. Dozier with a 2-2 count now.
I'd stay with that pitch right there. Scouting report on Brian Dozier. He's trying to hook everything. And you know he's trying to hook the ball into the seats right here. Stay away from that. Use that breaking ball. It's been a good one.
The Blue Jays showing a lot of heart tonight, hanging tough. Tulowitzki with a big RBI base hit in the top of the 11th. Got it. Biagini strikes out Dozier. There's the throw to first to complete it, and the Jays win in 11.
Then Joe Biagini gets his first career save by coming in and slamming the door. Tulowitzki with a big night. Thought he had a game winner earlier, but then comes up with the big one in the 11th inning. Edwin got us here with that 2-run home run. Marco Estrada sensational with 9 strikeouts, and the Jays break that losing streak.
Osuna picks up the win. Tulowitzki a couple good defensive plays, and Donaldson as well. Good win for the Blue Jays. They win it 3-2 in 11. We'll see you tomorrow night. Stay tuned. Here's Sportsnet Central. Ken and Ivanka, take it away.